Okay, first off, how am I sounding? Good? Bad? Different? Can you hear me at all? I'm hoping that everything goes well because I never know. I never know half of the time. It just seems to be my lot in life lately. So, let's start this off with my tale of woe, shall we? Some people already know this, but however, Um, so my tale of woe starts out with a couple of weekends ago. The family went out of province, and I stayed home to take care of the cats and to take care of myself. But that was the goal in mind, but it didn't happen. So here's what happened. So I started off with the goal of cleaning our jet tub because we have a jet tub in the master bath. And it's like, okay, this thing needs to be cleaned because it hasn't been tended to in quite some time and it's completely disgusting. It was smelling bad, it looked bad. So I was like, I'm just going to clean this thing. So I'm in the groove. I fill it up with hot water and, I clean the jets out, I scrub them, and yeah, I scrubbed them, and then it's like, yeah, it's like this is how this is going to go. And so like I'm in the groove already, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, okay, let me think about this. I got distracted. So I'm cleaning the jets out. It's smelling beautiful. It's looking great. Like it's just, it's getting very um it's just getting gorgeous. And so then I'm cleaning it, and it's smelling good, it's looking great, and then I'm like, okay, this is great, this is good. So I get to the final rinse of this jet tub, and oh, YouTube didn't start for me, it's still counting down. Be right back. Oh yeah, refresh your pages, guys. Refresh your pages if need. You can see me now. That's good. That's great. Um, yeah. So I get through the clean, the like the. I was cleaning the jet bathtub for anybody who just came in, and so I'm scrubbing it away, getting it cleaned. This is very repetitive now, but that's okay. And I get to the final rinse of everything. So I fill up the tub with cold water, run the jets again, and there's no chemicals in this water, thank God, because I mean, I had just used the chemical ahead of time, and a dishwasher tab, they work brilliantly for when it comes to jet tubs, man. Chef's kiss, highly recommend it. It works for me for just getting all that gunk out of there and just making it messy and just making it clean. Um, so like sprayed everything and wiped it down, and then I'm getting to the final rinse. So filled it up with cold water, let the jets run a final time so then they could be super cleaned, and just making sure that there wasn't any residual crud in there. And then I'm like, okay, this is great. This is like, I was feeling accomplished. I was feeling so accomplished. And I had one of my sweaters on, and they have really crappy pockets. I'm just going to say that right now. They have very shitty pockets. And unbeknownst to me, I had my phone in my pocket. And so I had no idea that it was in there. I didn't even realize that it was in there until I had leaned gently over the side of the tub, and I hear sploosh, and I look down, and I'm like, oh my God, my phone was in the tub. I dropped out of my pocket. It was in it was in the um it was in the tub, and I'm like, ah! So it's like, I go ahead, fish it out, and then I'm like, okay, I'm like, I've done this before. I have experience with this. And so I'm like, okay, just turn it off immediately. Just turn it off and just let it sit. Dry it off, let it sit. And so I didn't touch it. I didn't try to turn it back on because I made that mistake before, and then it cost me um it cost me like $300 for a brand new phone. So So I'm like, I'm not doing that this time. It's not going to happen. A lot of people say that you should take the SIM card out, but like I didn't, because like the last time that I've had a water related incident, the SIM card has always been fine. So dried it off, let it sit, and like because like I had another case. I had a like the infinite gramophone case, and like I ripped that thing off because I was like, oh my god, I'm like I can't. So I'm in a panic, and I'm just like, and phones need the same water expelling function as my Apple Watch. Yes, or just they need to have that depth for like my Fitbit. Like I can swim or I can be in the bath with my watch on if I have to. Not that I would, because why would I do that? But oh, Eve's here. Hello, Eve. Crazy day. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm just talking about a saga that happened with me and my phone. So yeah, it's sitting there. It's like it's expelling whatever water is inside of it, and I'm just like, I just gotta let it relax. Me, on the other hand, I am completely in like a mental crisis, and I'm like, okay, I have to get away, I have to get out, I have to, I have to do something. So I went for a walk just to try to clear my head and like calm myself down, because it's like I'm already like everything that I had accomplished with cleaning that tub, like it took me 2 hours to clean that damn thing. Like even with the running time of cleaning out the jets and just letting it sit and letting it soak. And I'm like, all of my accomplishment just went down the tubes with my phone falling into this bathtub. And like I was just like, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna calm myself down. And I wasn't in a good mental state at the time. I won't go into specifics with what had actually happened, but I was a mess. So it came back, and I instantly went to YouTube, and I was like, I just need something to cry on. You know what I mean? Like it was just so overstimulating, and I had felt so I felt accomplished, and then I felt so unaccomplished, and then I was like degrading myself because I was like, "Oh my god, how could I have been so stupid? How could I was just a mess." I mean, thank God that nobody was actually there to see that, because I want to rid anybody of seeing it like that, because it was just, thinking about it now, it was just a mess. And then I'm like, okay, it's like 4 in the afternoon, and I am just going to pour myself a shot of wine. So I poured myself a shot of wine, downed it like a freaking whiskey shot. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, sit with whatever the hell this is. Like sit with the anxiety, sit with the self-deprecating, like, just sit with it, right? And then cuz like, I don't even remember what time I woke up that day. I think I was up fairly early. Yeah, I was fairly early because I wanted to see the family off as they were going to like out of province. So I was like, okay, I'm like, I'm going to get up early, have my coffee. Like the day went great. It just went so good. And then it was like that was the one goal that I wanted to achieve, and I achieved it. And then it was like all of a sudden, turn of the switch, chaos. And it's like, oh my god, like it was just a mess. Remember, you don't have to just sit with it. I know, and like, but I mean, it's probably just the way that I've coped and that I have dealt with things. But I mean, I was crying, and like I was just in hysterics. Like it was a mess. Like, like yeah, it like I think just because of like I'd been so burnt out from like work, and then I was like, this is like finally time for me to kind of get one thing that I wanted to do for quite some time, uh, just to feel accomplished. And then it was like once I felt accomplished, everything just turned, and I was just like, it was just in that meltdown of chaos, and just it was a mess. So more to the story is that after letting my phone sit for 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours. I mean, normally they say, sometimes you can go a full 24 and then you should be good. But I was like, I'm not going to be testing it this time, because the last time that I tried to do that, Um, I was just kept getting the black screen of death and the Apple logo going, like, just flashing, and it wouldn't go any further than that. So I was like, I'm not making that mistake this time. So after 72 hours of letting the phone sit, I turned it on. It came back to life, and I'm like, okay, this is good. This is great. This is fantastic. And then I'm like, I'm just going to turn it back off again, let it sit for, the rest of the day. I don't need my phone until, I go to work. And then I think, like, eventually, like, I just left it in my bag for like a full week because I was like, I don't need it that much. Like, I really, like, there's no actual sense of me having it. So I was flipping in between back and forth of my old iPhone 6S that doesn't update with any of the software. And I was just like, oh my God, like, this is a nightmare. So it's like, I'm like trying to text people and I'm not getting texts. And then it's like, I'd switch into other phones and then they would pop up on one and then they would pop on the other. And I'm like, oh God. I'm like, this is just, I'm like, okay, is it my SIM card? Is it the software? Is it the hardware? Is it the, like, what is it? So let it sit for a couple more days, turn it back on, put the SIM card in. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm receiving everything. But then I get a notification in my settings saying that it was like, your iCloud data is not syncing. And I'm like, oh shit. So then it's like I go in and I look and then it's like, oh, all of this stuff is syncing except for your photos and your passwords, and I think it was like just your messages. And I was like, okay, well, I spent about an additional hour, and like this was like over the course of a weekend, um screenshotting every single text that I had in my phone, and I have like 600 millibytes of, or not 660 millibytes of messages on my phone, because it was like, well, you have to delete your iCloud data in order to continue syncing. So I'm like, well, why the hell would I do that for? Because then I'm going to lose everything, right? So then I'm stressed again. Like, I calm down and then I'm stressed again because I'm like, oh, well, shit, I'm going to lose all of my text messages. I'm going to lose everything. The photos and everything I already had backed up to my computer. So I was like, I'm okay there. But it was like the text messages. I was like, that's like a serious thing, right? So I was like, okay, well, I'll go to, the Geek Squad at Best Buy and I'll see what they say. And they said basically the same thing. Like, they said the only way that you can actually proceed with the phone and have it sync everything to the iCloud is if you delete that data. And I was like, well, aren't I going to lose everything? And they're like, well, no, not specifically. And I was like, okay, well, I'll see what happens. So I got home, and then I was like, yeah. And then I hit the button, and then I didn't lose anything. And I was like, I can breathe again, and it's crazy that we've become so dependent on cell phones. And it's like, I don't have a lot of people who text me, and I don't have a lot of people who, do message me. And it's like honestly, like, I wouldn't care as much, but a lot of them are from my dad. And it's like, you want to keep those, right? So that was an utter tale of woe. Oh, Brandy's here. Hey, Brandy. Yeah, and the phone had survived, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a case from Amazon. This thing is military grade. It's waterproof, shockproof. I could run this thing over with a bulldozer and it would still survive. So I'm like, I'm not making that mistake again. And I'm not making myself pay, well, over the course since of last year, because I bought my first iPhone 13 mini, or this is 12. This is 12. Sorry. In January, because I was like, well, it's the start of the year and I'm gonna update, because I had that 6 for the longest time and it wasn't updating anything. So I was like, okay, well, I got to get myself a new one specifically that's gonna have iOS. And then so I bought that one, and here's the kicker: the same thing happened, except it was at work and it was in the toilet. Clean toilet, mind you, but the only mistake that I had made was that I didn't turn it off, or I turned it off and then tried to turn it back on again, and that was what messed up the system completely. So don't do that. Don't turn it on right away after you've just gotten it out of water. And then I did this silly thing and I put it in rice, which a lot of people say is okay, but a lot of people um say no to rice because of the starch that the rice gives off, and it can cause more damage into like the inside of the charging port and the speaker and the just all the little tiny capillaries that your phone has. It can mess it up. Wasn't that a year ago? Yes. In around July, ironically enough. So it's like, my God. It happened right when I think they released Baby on Board, when Voice Play released Baby on Board. And I was like so happy. And then I like kind of went into the comments and I'm like, y'all are not gonna believe this. Like this is such a cute short, but it's like I am having a day and I need a smile on my face because I dropped my phone on the toilet. Everybody was so sympathetic with me, but I'm just like, I need a smile because I'm like almost in tears and I'm at work and I'm, like it's just, oh God. And it's like, well, like my earbuds, that little tiny like pill looking thing right there. I mean, I'm charging them right now. Those went into a mop bucket and survived fine. So, it's just like I don't get it, man. Some things are just more waterproof than iPhones are. I mean, iPhones have come a long way since um like since then. But regardless, it's just like I do not, cuz like the first one I bought, it was $300. And then once that one went down the tubes, it was like the second one is going to cost me 600 because 300 plus 300, 600. And then I was like, if I have to pay another 300, that's going to cost me a total of $900. So it's like I don't want to do that. And of course with phones like this that's been refurbished and I got it on Amazon, and like it's refurbished on Amazon, so it's not going to be under warranty as much as like the handler will say that it will be. It won't be. Like it just won't be covered for that. So it's like, uh, but yeah, I didn't want to buy a brand new phone, so because I'm like, I don't need a brand new phone because I don't feel responsible, and like I just like also Brandy, I'm sorry that you're having such a rough morning. Got yourself in over my head with a situation that those are the worst. Sometimes you just have to walk away from it because some of it's completely out of your control. Um, but yeah, like me and technology, we don't necessarily get along. But I just have to learn not to keep technology near water. So, mm, yeah, but yeah, my phone has survived. It's lived, so it's good. I can't just walk away. If I do, I'll screw someone over. Well, I'm not sure about the situation, but if it comes out to somebody getting mad at you, depending if they've done something wrong or if you've done something wrong and they're getting mad about it even though you've apologized, um yeah, just I mean, let them wear the chip on your shoulder. If it didn't involve you and they're involving you in it, yeah, you know, just let them have the chip on their shoulder. I have had to learn that in many situations in life that sometimes you just have to walk away and you just have to let it boil over. Can explain it to you later on Patreon. Okay, all right. Or you can reach out to me on Instagram too. You know where I am. I'm in all the places except for X. Yeah, no, I'm not going to that. Insert reverse shot of Jeff and Triller. It lives. Yeah, I mean that was basically like the GIF that I had used after I found anything, or like I found that my phone was living. I'm like, it lives. Yay! I'm not in any of the places. Oh, I mean, there are some places that I enjoy more than others. Yeah, so that tale was very very long. However, I should probably move on to another thing that I just did. So I released my secondary um Coffee versus Jeff video. Don't use anything but FB, and that's generally just for chat. I should probably use Facebook more often, but I don't. I don't. I don't know. My problem with Facebook is that there's always just stuff that's misinformation and misleading topics, or just very repetitive topics that it's like I don't need that in my life, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, and the blooper reel should be out sometime. I don't I haven't really set a date for that. It's probably just gonna pop up out of nowhere. Um but yeah, that one was difficult because I don't know why. Well, like making it wasn't difficult. It was just like also I was at a point of burnout where it was like all of my motivation had just gone down the tubes. So it was like I just need to take a weekend off and like try to sleep and like try to just get myself into working again. And it wasn't because YouTube was burning me out. It was work. Like it was, and it still is. Or you're why are you making my coffee taste like mud? I'm telling you, he made it taste like mud. But yeah, the audio portion of that was a mess because it was like I'm like, well, okay, I could have this playing in my headphones, but I couldn't get my volume levels proper to where it was like it wasn't blaring in my ears, and but yet it wasn't sounding like I had to like talk at a certain level so then people could hear me, because sometimes the like even when you're video editing and like even if you're screen recording, they have their own setup for volume, their own default setup for volume. So then I was like, well, I'll try it with like the audio from my second monitor, which is an old TV, and I'll see if that works. And it just felt comfortable. But then I was like, I'm not getting the immersive experience because I don't have them. I don't have it in my headphones. So I went back and forth for like a full 20 minutes just trying to figure that out. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going back to basics. I'm going to have it in my headphones. I'm going to, you know, or I'm just going to do what I did before. So glad to see that you made a video, but make sure you're taking care of you first. Yes, everybody is telling me that. And I had to jump in 5 minutes. Just wanted to check in. Have a great summer and keep looking after you. Thanks, Eve. See you around. Take care. I mean, I don't even know what time it is for you over there because you're in South Africa, right? She's on the other side of the world. So I was surprised to see Patty Cake release the BTS. Yeah, I was surprised about that too. But that's such a great BTS. Like seriously, it is a great BTS. And you would think that like with the shirt I'm wearing that it's like super summer like outside, but no, it's clouded over and raining. But my God, we have needed the rain because wildfires, man, wildfires. My general neighborhood and area has not been affected by them. We have just been getting smoke from the ones that are up north. So like places like Flin Flon. I mean, not that some of this really pertains to any of you, unless if you've actually been in Canada, you might actually know. But it's just all the northern parts of the province. And I love the song with Scott. So gorgeous. Guess until I found you. Scott is such a pretty singer. He's a pretty singer. Yeah, like and like probably by now we have like 24 like 20 I think we have like a total of 24 wildfires and then like 16 of them aren't contained. So it's just like, oh my God. So it's scary stuff. It's very scary stuff. Yeah, like as of right now, it's just people just have to stop being stupid. It's plain and simple. But no, it's like, oh no, we're gonna go and make a fire, and then it's gonna be because like it's been dry, it's fine. It's like, no, it's not. You're an idiot. Yeah. So back to the video. Like, other than the audio thing, I think it worked pretty well. Um, I think it's doing well. And then, like, when I did the premiere, because I kind of wanted to see if I was going to get more of a boost from the premiere, but I mean, it didn't really do much because I had to leave throughout the premiere because my internet at work, um, um, it sucks, and it's like I haven't asked my boss for the Wi-Fi password yet because I'm just like I just don't want to be that person to ask that question because other than work related emails that kind of pop out at any time during the day, I don't really use my phone for much other than social media. So it's like, but also like it's kind of a good thing that I don't have internet because it's like then I'm not constantly looking at my phone and getting distracted and getting pulled away from, doing work. So if that happens, it'll be a sure sign that the apocalypse is here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny world that we're living in right now. Funny, funny world. And I don't want to like, and I'm not going to get into a political thing, but I just had to laugh so hard the other day once I read that it's like, oh, the 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 boyfriends Elon and Trump, they broke up, and it's like, oh, one egotistical bastard with another egotistical bastard. What could have gone wrong? Everything. You know, it's just it's so funny. Like everybody's trying to make them out as like like they were like work husbands because it's like they just no matter what they did or like work wives because it's like no matter what they did they just argued about everything like the babies that they are. So it's like yeah, okay, whatever. I just had a feeling that I was like, yeah, they're not gonna work. Absolutely not. So, but yeah, I think other than that, I've been pretty good. Like, pretty much I've done the updates on the channel. Took a little bit of a break, and I'm still trying to uh, save up some time until September, because then that's when I'm going to take more time off in September. And the only reason why I choose September is because it's a little bit in the cooler side of things. Kids are going back to school, depending on what time in September. I mean, we usually go like second, third week of September, so then it's like people are back at school, and you don't have to worry about darn kids because it's like last year when the family went to Montana. Oh my god, the crazy kids. So you go to a museum and like your tour guide's trying to do your thing and then you have kids running around and they just like don't care about the museum and it's just like that. Little monsters. But yeah, last Saturday, either last Saturday or the Saturday before, it was pretty bad for smoke over here. Like it was just like kind of like when it first started because like Friday afternoon and then into Saturday. That was when it got really bad. Like you could just see the haze over the city. And it's like we're going on the bypass, and then it's like there's a little bit of elevation on the bypass, and then you're looking and you're like, yeah, the roofs of the houses are completely like covered, and it's like everywhere. It's just very hazy. And then as we were heading out to where my place is, more the east way, I was like, holy crap! Like I'm like, this is pretty bad. And then you get outside just for like the first 5 seconds, and it's like, ugh, I would not want to be out here any longer than I absolutely would have to. And then it was like on Sunday, I tried to do my laundry and I tried to hang it outside. This one right here is a good indication that the smoke is still in my clothes. But I didn't have time to rewash them. But I was thinking, this weekend I might redo um, the outfits that I wore last week because just when they're fresh. Um, yeah, just so then they're fresh. We're getting it now, but it's not bad. Well, you guys have had a little bit more rain than we have, kind of leading up to this. So at least it's not as stagnant as like when we had got it. Like I had to wear a mask outside in my backyard because I was like, so too much rain. Yeah, but that makes a difference though, because for us, like we had that like one solid week of rain back in the end of April, or like at the end of, or like the end of April, and then it was like that was it for weeks on end, and then when we get dry and so quickly too, that it's just like, oh my god. So 31 minutes. Okay, so I've talked about the video, I've talked about the updates, blooper reels going out, told about the tale of woe. Is there anything else that's happened? I mean, it feels like forever. I mean, we're in June already. But yeah, it just feels like forever since I've talked to you guys because like I was on, the social media break and then, taking a YouTube break and like trying to relax and trying to sleep. And speaking of sleep, oh my god. Ugh. I mean, I know Eileen has worse sleep patterns than I do, but I woke up at 4 this morning and it's 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm lying in bed going, I have to be on camera today. And it's like, no. I mean, I almost felt like bumping this back, but then I was like, no, I can't. Because I was like, I have to do it today. What's next for the channel? Have you decided? Not yet. Because like I was thinking of maybe going back to the podcast because it seems that it's like, yeah, we can nap after the chat. Yeah, I need a nap. Need to just put my laundry in the dryer and then just go to bed. um, yeah, like because and this is just always the thing that I do. It's like I start strong with the podcast episodes and then I kind of get discouraged with them because like the last one that I did in February, I looked and I was like, oh my god, the views are like so low. So I'm like, do I keep doing this? But then it's like I did Into the Storm and it's in the hundreds. So it's like, and I know, like I keep telling myself, I'm like, don't think about the views because that defeats the purpose of why you're doing it, because you're doing it because it's fun. Um so I just have to keep that thought in my head. And then as far as like crack and like mind poop vids, I mean, I think I've been posting some of them on Instagram now. Like I've switched formats because I'm like, well, these live on the YouTube, and like, for anybody who doesn't have a YouTube channel or just doesn't watch YouTube for some reason, it's like, well, I can put them in another place just so then people can see. And yeah, and it's like jotting them down. It's hard because it's like, and I mean, like there's been a couple of ideas, but also like I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, do people want real time stuff? Do people want like vlogs? I would be terrible doing a vlog because I wouldn't be terrible at it. It would just take a little bit more time for the setup and everything like that. So that would be the one thing. But yeah, it's just always trying to like put content out there that people are going to enjoy and that people are going to understand, because sometimes it's like, even with like the crack vids and everything like that, like putting it out there, it's like, yeah, it works, but it's like people I think there are some people that are just like, what? Because like either if they're not into voice play, they wouldn't get it, right? So it's like, that's the thing. But I mean, that's just that's what the channel's there for. So, and it's like, I'm I'm getting my hands dirty, you know, just dabbling into other territories and trying to figure out things and just just dabbling. And like people are really liking the coffee versus music. And it wasn't because, well, like it was actually out of boredom, and sometimes boredom is where I get my best ideas. And because I had always watched Good Mythical Morning, Rhett and Link, and they did a study out of, I think it was Oxford. I believe it was Oxford. And Oxford did a study about how music changes the flavor of food. And then I was like, well, does music change the flavor of coffee? Depending on the ground, depending on the bean, depending on, you know, the consistency. Um, Other territories, supernatural crack then next to then, who knows? I'm not telling. Well, I'm not telling mostly because I don't know. I mean, to be perfectly honest, supernatural crack. I only have like the one video. That's it. So it's like, yeah. Ugh, I've been going through it. Let me tell you, like it's. I mean, maybe that's the next thing that I'll do. I'll become very vulnerable with people on the interwebs and just be like, hey, this is what I've been going through lately. And I mean, like, as far as work is concerned, it's just that that's been hard. Let me say that work has been extremely hard, just for lack of anything else, because it's been rough since December. Like it's just it's bleh. Yeah, supernatural crack. If talking about it in a chat like this helps you, go for it. Yeah, and I mean it's like I feel like, well, there was a video that I just watched before I came on here, and I don't know if this dude was like a legit like doctor. I mean yeah, I'm trying to think. Like what was his name? Doctor. Hang on a sec. I'll open this up. Um. Oh, it's not actually gonna. Okay. Um. You might hear sound in the background. Unfortunately. Okay. Wait. Okay. His name is Dr. John Deloney. Deloney. And he went on to say that there was a video about saying that like it's just like I'm exhausted and I want to completely give up on life. And because he had this caller that came in and he was like busy with five kids, like like just a dad, taking care of five kids. One of his kids is special needs. How? Ooh, that was painful. I don't know what that was, but that was like, I think that was cramp. That was a gas cramp. That ow. um and yeah, he was talking about like he had five kids, special needs, and he just said like he's like I love my wife, I love my kids. My one special needs kid takes a lot of my time and a lot of responsibility and a lot of special needs kid, right? Like they're gonna be changing your life for the better, and also because they take a lot more because of their priorities and whatnot. And he like he's an engineer, he works in engineering, and he just said that he um like to kind of sum it up, like he was saying that he's like, I just feel like I'm a failure as a dad, and it's like I'm always trying to fix things, and then it's like when my wife talks about, like she starts complaining or she starts nitpicking things, or that she starts telling me things, and like the doctor said, he's like, well, first, you're very brave, you're the bravest caller that I've had so far to come in and talk about this. And he said, he's like, well, no, man, he's like, you just have to tell me like about your marriage. Like it's like, is it as happy as you're making it out to be? And once he got to the point of when he was talking about um saying that it's like you don't have to go on a different diet to fix yourself. You just have to sit down with that person, hold their hands and say, I'm exhausted and I need help. And I'm like, the vulnerability of that, and like to know that this guy is taking on the world with 5 kids, and then also with the extra responsibility of a special needs kid. And he's going to work every day, like he's pounding the pavement. He's just going through it. And like he said, he's like, and he's like, I was trying new diets, I was trying new sleep schedules, I was trying everything just to try to beat whatever this was. And the doctor host, he was saying, he was like, no, he's like nothing that you're doing, yes, it's going to change you in some capacity, but a lot of it is, it's like you just have to talk about it. You have to talk. And of course, with us as a society, we always want to just push that under the rug. Still, we still want to push mental health crises and mental health talks under the rug. And he's like, well, I don't want to burden my wife because she may not fully understand what's going on. And I don't want to burden her with my stuff when she already has her stuff. And he said, well, it's probably because she's burdening herself with trying to figure out what's going on with you. So that's why she's doing the nitpicking, and that's why she's doing the complaining, because that's just her automatic response. Because she doesn't have any understand or any like understanding or any know-how of what you're going through, because you're not talking about it with her, because you don't want to burden her. But it's like, you're not going to burden somebody by saying, I need help. Like, you're never going to become a burden because of that. Because if you are being a burden to somebody, saying that you need help because you're at your mental capacity for anything has been exhausted, you can't burden someone by saying that you need help. And it was a very profound watch, because I have been there. I have been there. I've been to the point of burnout and beyond, to where it's messed with my sleep. My stress level has been through the roof, and I have started getting, like, not chronic pains, but I've gotten pains that go away for a while and then they come back. And then it's like, if I'm stressed, it gets even worse. And like poor diet, exercising, like all of that. Like, I have my own vices, and I have my own things that I have to work on. But like he said, the best thing that you can do is you can open up to your wife and you can say, I'm struggling, I need help, I'm exhausted. And then take the next step by talking to a counselor. Like you need to make that decision for yourself, because it's like, there is no cure for mental health. There's only tools and things that we can do um to help ourselves. And it's like, the first person that you need to help is yourself, and you need to realize that, yes, I am exhausted, and yes, I am burned out. And for me, I was like, this guy is speaking to my soul here, because it's like, I, like Rick, who the guy's name was, like, I have been in that profession. Like, I am helping. Out of the 7 years of my career, I have helped out 63 residents in long-term care. I've cleaned rooms for 63 people that the majority of them are now gone. But it's like, when you think about it and you take a step back and you're like, yeah, I am doing the best that I can with what I have been offered, with what I have been given, with the opportunity. And it's like, it is so easy to get sucked in to um just to like, it is easy to get sucked into the terms of burnout, because it's like, you're like, here's an example. I'm not going to say this resident's name because of confidentiality, but we have a fella who, he was totally independent. before he moved into our place. He had a couple of falls at his assisted living facility, and then he had to move into long term care. So it's that transitional period between him getting used to a brand new life, getting used to not being able to do what he used to do, and also realizing that his brain is going because of dementia. So he's scared, he's tired, he's in fear, and he's anxious, he's worried, his whole entire world is a complete flip-flop. But for us, the last couple of the last couple of weeks since he's moved in, he has been a broken record. He will get stuck on a certain phrase and he will repeat it at various volumes because of his agitation for hours on end. And then, if you're somebody who already gets overly stimulated by sound and noise, and then you're hearing that constantly over time, eventually you just hit that wall. You hit it. And then that's when you're like, okay, I have to stop and I have to take a step back. Um, Doing the best you can with what you have is all they can ask of you and all you can ask of yourself. Remember, if you only have 50% available and you give that 50%, you've actually given 100% of what you have available. That's true. And like I always have this conversation with my boss, my supervisor too, that it's like if she asks me how I am, I'm like, well, if I was to put a percentage on it, I would say I'm at 5%. And then she's like, well, are you still like have you given the rest of your are you going to give the rest of your 5% that you have? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, well, you've already won the day. And I'm like, it's always good. But sometimes there's situations that happen that um you know it well, like I've always said to her, and I've always been honest about this too, that it's like I like if it comes to a certain task that I know that it's like, okay, well, like my knowledge of it, I can fix it, right? I get stuck in the belief that it's like I cannot, like it's like I can fix it, I have to, and it's like it just has to be done. And then with a certain situation that happened with a bed that was completely out of my my skill level and whatever, and it was like I had gone into a full spiral because it was like, well, if I can't fix it, then I can't. Then I have failed. Just that bad self talk, right? And I think like with because I was even dealing with neck pain and I was dealing with a little bit of back pain that day too, and I was also it was time of the month. So, hormone imbalances and, the cortisol and the endorphins and everything just um, it exploded. Like I exploded internally, and then I was just like, I just like there was no way out. I was in that spiral. I couldn't get out of it. So then it's like I locked myself in the laundry room and I cried because I was just like, I can't do it, and it's like I can't do this anymore, and it's like I hate being like being how I am on this day because it's like I didn't want to like not to say that I didn't want to take anything for it. Like I was trying to keep the pain at a manageable level. But then I was like, "Oh my god, like everything that could have went wrong did." And I was just like, "Oh." So it and then, my boss came in and then she's like, "Are you done?" And I'm like, no. And then she's like, okay, well, like, come here, I'll give you a hug, just you have to breathe because it's like it's out of our control, we can't always fix it. And I'm like, I know, but like in my head I'm just on that thing of like I can fix it because like you know like of course going back to like trauma here for a second, I was always put in the notion that it's like, okay, well, like I can fix this. I can fix, whatever. Like I can fix da da da. I can fix da da da. And when I couldn't, it was just like that feel of like I didn't have control over something, and I didn't have, the tools necessary to just finish the job. And luckily, there was a good prize for that situation. So it worked out. It got fixed, and I basically was stressing over nothing, which I do, and I have to work on it. I have to work on not sweating the small stuff, even though it's all small stuff. I need to get that book. I swear. Um, acknowledging you only have so much you can do for a situation is half the battle. Yeah. And like, I try. And then it was like in the middle of it all, I'm like, oh, for sake. It's like I'm not a person who fixes beds. I can break beds just as easily, which I kind of did accidentally. But that bed was on its last legs anyway, and then it was just like, well, uh, there's not really much else I can do about this. So, I mean, like what is the saying? It's just like, oh, this is manageable. I just have to freak out about it first, kind of thing. It was just a mess waiting to happen. Yeah, and like once I realized that that bed had become completely unfixable and unsafe, I was like, well, crap. So now it's like we're down a bed. The resident needs it pretty badly, but the mobility company was so gracious with everything, and they were just like, yeah, you know, we'll give you a renter bed until you can find another one for the weekend. And then the family found a bed, and it was just perfect. And I was like, so I spent like an extra half an hour making phone calls and talking with people and like trying to take on a management role that is completely out of my jurisdiction. Well, because like I was trying to help my boss because she was on holiday, well, because she was with her family and her family is out of town. So I was like, oh, God. And it didn't help because the fellow that I was talking about earlier, he started to get agitated and then he started to repeat things. And it's like I'm trying to talk to the family, I'm trying to talk to my manager, and I'm trying to find a situation. And it's like, go! Like I had never been so exhausted in my life. It's just like I felt like I wanted to sleep for a week. But I mean, it got fixed. It was managed. It was all good. And then I walked in on Friday and I was like, okay, she has a bed. She slept in it. She loves the bed. It's all good. I didn't have to worry about anything. But also, like, a couple other things that came into the notion was that I hadn't eaten anything. I just had coffee and water. And then it was like, yeah, that probably doesn't help much. Well, because I was saving my appetite because we were having the birthday party the same day. So then it was like, well, like there's going to be food in the next couple of hours, so I will just wait. And then it was like, well, I probably should have had something before I left the house, and I'm finding that too because it's like I need to eat something, just even if it's a little something first thing in the morning, because it's like if not, I'm just a bitch on wheels. I'm telling you, like it's just like I'm the worst person. I'm grumpy as hell. But I mean, it's the caffeine spiking my like it's the caffeine spiking my blood sugar and my blood pressure, and it's just I think you did an excellent job advocating for your resident. I mean, I advocate for those guys all the time. And like even if I'm having to take care aides aside and trying to teach them how to do their job, even though I'm not a care aide, I'm just a housekeeper. But if I see things that are going wrong, it's like, come over here. I'm gonna talk to you. What you're doing is bad. What you're doing is wrong. But there's always room for improvement. So you don't expect your car to run properly with an empty fuel tank, so you can't expect yourself to work properly without fuel for yourself. Yes. Yeah. And I did eat before I sat down to do this. I had toast with jam this morning because I was like, I just need food. I need food in my stomach. So there is just no only in healthcare. Yeah. Oh yeah, and like I've had to learn that too. That it's like, but sometimes people from an outside source, care aides can be um safely put depending uh, on how they do their care and how they do things and where their heart is in the situation. Sometimes their ego can be a little bit high, and then when it gets bruised a little bit or if they're brought down a peg, then it's like they'll ignore you for the rest of the day, and it's like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But it's like I just want to say that it's like, I just want to point out that it's like, this is a this is a person. You're taking care of a person. You're not taking care of a car that needs like minimal maintenance. Like it's like these people are in here for a reason. Even though they may be independent, it's still our job to take care of them. You know, because it's like, why would they be here if they can still take care of themselves? Why are they here? So, and like sometimes I have to kind of take a step back, and I'm like, yeah, my heart's in the right place, but it's like I must remember that I am in housekeeping, but and that I am not a care aide. So sometimes I have to put that boundary up and just be like, whatever. But I also think because some of our newer staff that have come in, they come to me for advice, and I'm like, I'm not the best person to ask because I'm just an outside source. I'm just the observer, and I just say, I'm like, do it the best to your ability, but don't forget to ask questions. And if you mess up, that's okay, because we are all human and we all make mistakes, even though there are some people that think that they don't. And it's like, mm-mm. It's like, no. It's like everybody makes a mistake, everybody does something that they shouldn't. And it's like, you know that's often true in healthcare. You're a patient, not a person. Exactly. And but I also get it too, because it's difficult to steel yourself from some of those residents, because you don't want to deal with the emotional blowback of once they pass away. And like the last couple of months, it's been heavy. We've been getting hit hard with like April, May, June. Somebody has died in the course of like 3 months. I love your attitude. I'm a state surveyor for nursing home. People with your attitude, no matter what your job title, you make it their home. Well, I try. Because it's like I just think of my mother, because like she passed when she was very young and very suddenly. But I'm thinking, I'm like, if my mom was alive, like she would be in her 60s. And if she was alive today, like she'd be in her 60s. And I'm thinking, I'm like, I would never, for the life of me, have my mother, be in some of the situations that some of these like that some of these residents are living in. But also, some of them, it's their cognitive, um because like the dementia, there are some things that you cannot change, no matter how hard you try to encourage and you try to be a support. You cannot change it, because that's just how their mind works. And um and it's like, but the best thing that I can do is just try to be a support for them through the fear and the anxiety, and assist where I can, and try to teach a new generation of care staff that it's like, this is how to enrich these people's lives and maybe make a difference in their lives, because they got nothing. They just have a room, four walls, a bed, and a family that's probably taking care of their finances. But I will say, some of the families can be a pain in my ass more than the resident can be. So, yes, your loved one is comfortable. Can we just leave it at that? Instead of having to do the extras, or the unreasonable and crazy demands of certain people that come in, and it's like, yeah, sure. Let me just, as I'm carrying this person that's in a lift, and then you come to me saying that you need something else done, let me just drop her real quick. It's like, oh yeah, because you take priority over everybody else. It's like, no, we have 20 other people, and we only have, maybe 4 to 5 staff. You see what I did there? 4 to 5. Um, but yeah, it's like, I can't just drop everything and then just go on to the next thing. This person needs to have their care completed. You can't just cut corners. So, but that's a story for another day. So, you know, hi, purple butterfly. I love I love the name. Some people think putting their parents in a home is a spectator sport. Yeah. And that the rest of the people don't matter, and that they just like want one-on-one care and they want it done to the nines. And it's like, nah, we're gonna miss things, we're gonna mess up on things, we're gonna, you know, we're not gonna do everything right that you're asking, and then you're not happy with no matter what we do, so it's like, whatever. See, I'm drinking water. I probably should drink more though, because I'm balancing caffeine and stuff like that. But yeah, that's basically has been kind of my week, my month so far. Um, and next weekend, my birthday's coming up. My birthday. I am going to be 41. No, no. I'm turning 31 this year, and I've said this before, but I am feeling it. I am feeling 30. I think, like, even when I was in my late 20s, I started feeling it. I started feeling 30 when I was in my 20s. And now that I'm getting, like into my 30s, it's like I'm going to start feeling 40. So now I'm scared, because if I start getting into my 40s, I'm going to be like, "Oh no, now I'm going to feel 50," kind of thing. But of course, I think it's like just it's based on attitude. But who knows? Probably by the time, with some of the gray hair that I'm starting to get, might be a silver fox by the time I get to my 50s. Who knows? I'm kind of excited. But it's like, you know, wrink out that random gray hair, and it's like, oh no. It's like, oh, great. You can aspire to Jeff's hair. Yes. That's a color goal. Is it not? Is it okay to say that Jeff's gray is a color goal? I mean, but like I see people, like, most of the residents that I take care of at my work are in their 90s, and they have the most gorgeous white hair that I've ever seen. And some of them, like one lady, she used to get her hair dyed, and she went white because she just couldn't get her hair dyed anymore because it was expensive, and physically she just couldn't bend her head back all the way to get it over the sink. And when she went white, I was like, oh my god, it just looks so pretty. It just works. So yeah, I mean, if I start going gray in my 40s, it's I'm gonna welcome it. I'm gonna try to welcome it. You're half my age. The fun is just starting. Yeah, Jeff made fun of me for my math, so I told him I was half his age backwards. And he's like, your math is curious, and I'm like, shut up. I'm like, don't judge me. I'm bad with math. I was never good with math. I still am not. It's normal to go gray in your 30s, 40s. Yeah, and then there's like some people, once they were 25, they turned like fully gray just because of stress and whatever. So it's like, yeah, gray hair, don't mind it. So yeah, I can't really say much about what to expect from the channel moving forward. Um, but I mean, I do have a lot of suggestions for another coffee versus music thing, so maybe I might go that route. If you guys have anything else that might be out of the spectrum that you want to see, if you're curious about something, just send it to me. Just tell me. Just be like, hey, I want you to talk about this, or I want you just to do this. So I'm at your disposal, is what I'm trying to say. I'm giving myself up to you. The stage movement teacher was butt length gray hair at 25. Wow. That's crazy. But yeah, before I rack my voice out, because I feel like I've been shouting all the time, even though my microphone's right there. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up because we've been talking for an hour. So try coffee and classical chaos. That one's just great. That one just tickles me. I earned every one of my grays. Yeah, I'm starting to learn to earn mine too. Coffee and Halo. I love Halo. Da 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 da. I have Tina. I've done a full episode about Mr. Jacobson. He's an excellent puppet and so pretty and so cute. He's so cute. And when the hell is Jay gonna have his baby? God damn. We've heard nothing. And he said that it was supposed to be at the end of May, and May is a couple weeks past already. What the hell? I mean, maybe he's had it already, and Damone just, is they're being private about it. So, well, because Tina, the only reason why you missed it is because it's a very, very old episode of the podcast, like at the beginner stages. So you just have to go back in the podcast and rewatch everything. So, yeah. And oh my god, is anybody I still have Steve's lava chicken stuck in my head. And god damn it, Ellie. God damn. Like, I'm trying to think of who he reminds me of with like just the intensity of his screaming. I can't. I mean, I wouldn't say Steven Tyler prowess because Steven Tyler is Steven Tyler, but he's pretty damn close. He's pretty damn close. But I'm like, bro, like crazy. Steve's lava chicken got Chili's baby back ribs in my head. Oh my god. Barbecue sauce. And Jack Black is just a natural treasure. I don't know if you saw in my story, but um, there was a video that well, because there's a show Love on the Spectrum, and it talks about people that are autistic and they try to like be in the dating world and they try to work out relationships and whatnot. I've never watched it, but it seems like a good show. And then there's this one kid, Tanner, who's on it. I don't know if he's like a teen or an adult. I'm not sure. And Jack's like, "Oh, hey Tanner, I'm so sorry. I'm, promoting the Minecraft movie right now. I can't be there, but I do have Kung Fu Ninja powers, and I'm going to go right through these doors." And it was on the Kelly Clarkson show. Comes out and just surprises the hell out of this kid. And this kid comes over to him and just like is like loving on him. Like, and Jack is just soaking it up. And I'm just like, Jack, you could not have been a better man. Like, oh, it's just this like the most heart melting thing that I've seen in such a long time that almost brought me to tears. And I'm just like, that is what a celebrity is, folks. It's like, forget about their political agenda and just forget about where they are in the world. It's like if you're enriching somebody else's life like that and just sitting with them and just like, and he was just like cuddling the guy. Like he was letting Tanner cuddle him. And it's just like, oh, it's just so sweet. And I'm just like, Jack, you're just the best dude for that. I just give you so much respect. I got Until I Found You in my head. Scott's voice gives me chills. Scotty is a good singer. He's a great guy. Great actor, great singer. But is it okay to say that I've never watched an actual episode of Ginny and Georgia? Oops. I mean, I've seen it on Netflix every once in a while, and all of the other streaming platforms, but it's like I just never watched it. But it was funny because there was a clip of Ginny and Georgia that had showed up when I didn't know what the show was about, and then I'm like, hey, it's Crazy Uncle Scott. I didn't know he was in this show. So yeah, it was kind of funny, and I'm like, it's Crazy Uncle Scott. What's he doing on here? And then I looked him up, and I'm like, oh, well, like he's been in this show since the beginning. Uh, it's also okay to say you never watched Friday Night Lights. Yeah, I should though, because Scott is a very very good actor. And well, I watched him on The Masked Singer when he was Gumball. I couldn't detect it though because it was like I think Jeff had shared something about that, and he's like, hmm. He's like, I know this person's voice. Do you? And I'm like, who the hell is that? Because I just never heard Scott sing enough to, make the connection. But then, once the masking, the unmasking happened, and I'm like, oh, it's Scott. Scott was the whole time, and it's like, what? It's like, or I almost feel like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what's her name? What's her name from Mrs. Doubtfire? Sally Field, and just like the whole time you were, oh my god, the whole time, you were the whole time, like. I love that moment. I love that movie. I love Robin Williams. Still love him to this day. Always will. Okay, so on that note, um, yeah, I mean, keep an eye on the channel for the blooper reel coming out. Um, yeah, I mean, send me suggestions, do whatever you want to see. But adulting calls, yeah, me too. I mean, I have to empty out my tank. I'll leave that to your imagination. He'll immediately know a person if he meets is a VP fan because they'll call him Crazy Uncle Scott. Exactly. I was so tempted to put in the comments under until I found you, Crazy Uncle Scott, but I I I hesitated. I was like, nah, because they probably won't see it. So it's like, whatever. But yeah, okay, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. There was no audio troubles this time. That's a bonus. So yeah, just keep an eye on the channel. Send me suggestions. See what you want to see, and have a great rest of your weekend. I'm gonna go take a nap. Okay, and on that note, I'm gonna go fall over. See you guys.